Hey guys, welcome back. Orbomb here, bringing you another one of our live deck profiles. Today we are covering Zygarde. Zygarde is a really interesting archetype. It's fighting, which is great because Pikarom is good. It has really strong non-GX elements, which is great because GX Pokemon are ridiculously good, especially tag teams. So it seems to be in a really interesting place. Now it's all about seeing if we can find a good build. Look how damaged those sleeves are, man. These have got to go. Look at this. It's about time we expire these sleeves. But anyways, before we get into the video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, share all that good jazz. What's one of the weirder... let me know in the comments down below for a chance to win a couple of codes and a chance to enter for a booster box giveaway thanks to our lovely sponsors like Guardian Gaming. What's a more fringe, more rogue type archetype you're interested in trying out to see if it's good for post-rotation meta? Let me know in the comments down below. I think Zygarde kind of fits that bill. I think Zygarde's interesting. I will say one thing. I'm not playing Pokecoms in here because I'm not playing enough Pokemon for Pokecoms, and almost all Pokemon I'm going to be playing down immediately anyways. So I'm going to say that right now because I know I'm going to get a lot of questions like, why aren't you playing Pokecoms to help you search Pokemon? That's why. This deck is really interesting. It's really like experimental on my part, but we're going to see. It seems to work. Honestly, I think it does a good job, but there's definitely like going to be future different builds I'm going to try out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, but let's go ahead and get right into it. Also, once again, no background music, no editing of audio of any kind. This is still no computer. Same day. I'm recording this immediately after recording the episode on deck profile. So, yeah. For Zygarde. Zygarde is really interesting. 90 HP, 1 retreat Pokemon, weak to grass, which is good because there's not too many great grass decks that aren't afraid of Reshizard right now. So, has the attack, I think it's called Boost Fang. It does 20 damage and accelerates an energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. And also its ability says all Zygardes do 20 for this is while this Pokemon's on your bench, your Zygardes and Zygarde GXs do 20 more damage. So unfortunately, if this is active, it doesn't get the boost, but if you have 3 baby Zygardes down, then you're hitting for 20, 40, 60 damage. So for 1 energy, you're hitting for 80 while also accelerating energy. Definitely not a bad attack, and we still have access to Diancie as well, and it also boosts Zygarde GX's attack. So what we're going to talk about right now. We're playing 2 Zygarde GX. We know all about Zygarde GX. I actually don't own the card, so we have to print these as well. But 200 HP, pretty good. Cell Conductor, 50 damage, so obviously that can be boosted up by 80, and of course we are playing 1 Diancie, so technically you can boost it up by 100 under perfect circumstances, right? You can hit 150 for 2 energies. We don't play DC anymore because we don't have DC anymore. Triple energy, does not work with this. So, you're gonna have to boost Fang. You're gonna have to manually attach, and also, unfortunately, Black Belt doesn't work in this deck, which made me consider. I'm going to talk about that more when we talk about that card, but let's just continue with the things. 130 vanilla damage, definitely not bad. 4 energies is kind of hefty, but 130 vanilla is not bad. But we play this mostly for the GX attack. Verdict GX, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your Pokemon GX and EX during your opponent's next turn. So obviously it's great for blocking things like Reshizard, Blacephalon. You can just be completely immune from damage, and since there's a lot less gusting in format, there's less ways for your opponent to deal with this effect. I don't foresee a lot of people playing Chandler, which would be the other way to get around this, but I think it's a really good way to stay immune, and it does 150. Technically, like we mentioned earlier, you can boost your damage output by 100 under perfect circumstances. So it can do upwards of 250. Can't OHKO a lot of tag teams, but is a still pretty powerful attack that can be used while also keeping yourself immune. And then you can finish things off with non-GX attackers. As far as the rest of the Pokemon go, we're playing 2 Jirachi. I'm liking Jirachi in this deck list. I am playing Fan Club in here, just trying it out. And with Fan Club, I do like Jirachi because we can search out the Jirachi. Other cards I like are Marshadow, Machamp GX. Overall, this card has better stats than Zygarde, but it can't be buffed by the Zygarde baby Zygardes. So we are hitting a vanilla 160, but a vanilla 160 is still 30 more damage than this. And of course, Diancie does make it 180. Revenge is great because with the Black Belt, we can use Revenge for 1 energy, which is sometimes what we need to do. Being able to hit just a vanilla 120 using Revenge is pretty good. And with Diancie, it can be busted up to 140. Then Acme of Heroism is the main reason why you play this card. It's a great GX attack. And once again, you want to use this GX attack first a lot of the time. We'll see what happens, actually. It's kind of hard because Zygarde is just a great GX attack throughout the game anyways. But Acme of Heroism, if you have at least 1 extra energy attached to this Pokemon, and it would be knocked out by damage from opponent's attack during your next turn, it is not knocked out, and its remaining HP is 10. So you, no matter what, will survive an attack, which is great. Unfortunately, things like status conditions can still knock you out because it comes into effect at the end of the turn, and status conditions usually come into effect between turns. So, but 200 damage, great damage output, stronger than all the other attacks, because we can use this. We can have the busted effect with the buffed attack effect for only 3 energies if you use black belt, of course. So overall, I think it's a great fighting type attacker in this deck. Do I think it's amazing in this deck? I'm not super sure yet, but I do like the option. We are playing 1 Diancie. We are playing 1 Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX. Unfortunately, it does not get buffed by the Zygardes, but it does give you a Psychic type attacker, which can be pretty useful, especially against opposing opposing Psychic weak Pokemon. It's just nice to have. And of course, you can still get the immunity using Zygarde GX's GX attack. I think so, right? Yeah, you still get the immunity using the GX attack, although I'm not too sure if Bonnie will let you use it again while this one's attacking. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And of course, the Dedenne GX to help you set up the board. 1 Dedenne is always nice. I was playing 2 in here, but I put in the Jirachis and I had to make cuts, so I cut out 1 Dedenne. We'll see if I like it. I don't know if I like it yet, but because I've always wanted 2 Dedennes in this deck list, but we'll see as we continue to build what cards we can cut for the future. 4 Martial Arts Dojo. So, you know earlier how I said you can cap out at 100. I think you're hitting 100 for Baby Zygarde. You can cap out at 140 thanks to Martial Art Dojo. You can cap out at 290 using Zygarde GX's attack. Like, there's a lot of damage buff you have. Martial Arts Dojo does 10 more if you have the basic fighting. This also works on Mewtwo, by the way, because it's all based off basic fighting energies, not being a fighting type Pokemon. But if you're behind on prices, you do 40 more damage instead. So the buffs on buffs on buffs, great attack. Great stadium for this deck. And that's it for stadiums. At first I wanted to play a bunch of stadiums because Bonnie works by discarding a stadium. Then I realized that your opponent is probably going to be bumping stadiums for you, so using their own stadiums. So I'm not too worried. Plus we're not playing 4 Bonnies in this deck list. I do want to play another Bonnie because I'm only playing 2, which we'll go over in a second, but I just don't. I feel like because there's going to be lots of stadiums in the format, your opponent's always going to have a stadium down for you to bump using Bonnie. And let's go ahead and talk about the supporters really quick. We are playing 1 Lieutenant Surge. This is really out of order than my usual stuff. I didn't organize the cards, that's why. Let me see if I can just like quickly. There we go. 1 Lieutenant Surge, because if I'm using Bonnie, I also want to use a draw supporter a lot of the time. So 1 Lieutenant Surge, 4 Cynthia. Just standard draw support. I'm not playing Lily in this deck list. I'm not a huge fan of Lily in this deck because we have other supporters we want to use almost all the time. So no Lily. Playing 2 fan clubs because it's the only way for us to search the Baby Zygarde, Jirachi, outside of Pokecom, which once again, as I went over with all the Pokemon, all those Pokemon I'm usually going to want to play down. There's not really a worthless Pokemon, except for like, I guess, the Dedenne, because sometimes you're not going to use the Dedenne, and maybe that 1 extra Jirachi. But I'm playing 2 so that we always have a Jirachi in the deck because it's important to get it down early. Otherwise, I feel like we're always going to be playing a Pokemon, always going to be looking for a non-GX Pokemon, which is why I'm playing the fan club and not the Pokecoms. And then, of course, 2 Bonnie. Let's double check the Bonnie text. Discard that stadium card during. Okay, so it has to be a Zygarde GX. Your Mewtwo and Mewtwo tag team cannot reuse the attack of your cannot reuse their GX attack. It has to be the Zygarde GX that uses it. But regardless, just being able to reuse that effect over and over again is very, very powerful, and that's the reason why I feel like Zygarde has its place in the meta right now. Let's see. Gonna mix these up really quick, guys. Okay, whatever. Order's weird, but it's fine. All right, we're playing 4 Acrobikes. You know, we want to get those fighting energies in the discard pile. We want to run through our deck to try to find those Zygardes. We're playing 4 Acrobikes for that reason. 4 Custom Catcher, because we're usually just like, with Jirachi, I feel like Custom Catcher is just like an easy add to most decks because Jirachi will help you dig for those Custom Catchers. So I do like the Custom Catchers in here. 4 Cherish Balls. We got a bunch of GX options to search for, so having the Cherish Balls are pretty handy. And 4 Pokegear to help you find those Bonnies, supporters in play, fan clubs, things like that. As far as other trainer cards go, we have 2 Escape Boards, 2 Switches, and 2 Black Belts. This card I was playing 3, but thanks to adding Jirachi, it cut it down to 2. Now, the Black Belt is the card that I was talking about earlier. If you're behind on prizes, you attack for 1 fighting energy less. Now, the benefit of Black Belt is that you can attack using your Baby Zygarde for free, essentially, which is pretty good. But Counter Gain would help Zygarde GX more because you could use its first attack for 1 energy. So I don't know if the play is to play a mix of the two, maybe a split, maybe only counter gains because you're not worried about attacking with Baby Zygarde for free. I think you should be worried about playing attacking with Baby Zygarde for free because it accelerates the energy more than trying to find a fighting energy to or an energy to attack with Zygarde. Because like Zygarde also accelerates energy, but you still need a manual attachment regardless because it's only -1. So I'm thinking Black Belt's the right play because you're gonna want your non-GX Pokemon active the most anyways, but I don't know. It's definitely debatable. And 1 reset stamp because you can only fit 1. I want to play 2 once again. Just I like having 2 reset stamps in decks, but space is definitely an issue I've been finding in this deck so far. And as far as energies go, 3, 6, 9, 12. So nice even 12 energies. Helps you flow, helps you find manual attachments without having to add energy searchers in this deck. You don't really want to add cards like Viridian. You don't want to play Energy Spinner. It's all about just trying to get them in the discard pile using Acrobike while also using the Dedenne while also trying to find them for manual attachments every turn. So I feel like 12 is a pretty good number, but that's going to be the deck, guys. I'm going to try to make the video a little bit shorter. You have good matchups versus a lot of things. Tag team matchups are a little bit better as long as they don't play excessive healing. Your baby Zygarde can help you early game, and then obviously Zygarde GX and GX attack and make it to where they're immune. So I do like the tag team matchup a lot. What else? Your Pikarom matchup is amazing. And also, Dedennes exist. And you can OHKO Dedennes, sometimes even with Baby Zygarde. And as long as Dedennes exist, you can uptrade really well. And since most decks have to be playing Dedenne in this current format, I feel like being brown is not bad right about now. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know what decks you want to see me play next. Let me know the comment question of the day, answer that stuff so you get a chance to win a couple codes, couple boxes, things like that. Shout out to the sponsors as always, shout out to the Patreons as always. I'm going to start listing those once I get a list of them written down. I got to do that. But anyways, thank you all, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. Peace.